Alright, YouTube. So I came out here to the property today. We're going to do dig the trench for our electrical because we're getting that set up the beginning of the month. But when I got here, I noticed all the bolts are missing out of my backhoe mount. So I can't use the backhoe. I'm going to have to go get some bolts for that. And it's just, I don't know. I've since day one, I've been kind of disappointed on this tractor. Things have been loose. Things have been, just not quite strong enough. Just different things, And I guess this is just a continuation. The bolts weren't tight enough or whatever. I don't know how in just a couple hours use that all the bolts could be completely missing out of my backhoe mount on both sides except for one. That's a little excessive for a couple hours use. Just kind of odd to me and frustrating and just adding to the pile of issues on this tractor that I'm dealing with. But anyways, so that's just a quick update. I'm gonna go ahead and get some bolts, and so that I can get that put back together. But with our electrical, you can see our little box out here, and we're gonna end up doing a trench right to about somewhere in here, and that's gonna be able to power our, yes, this is a fifth wheel, but up there is gonna be a double wide. The fifth wheel is actually gonna be parked right here but turned around the other way, so that our door comes this way. And so that'll be right, where the plug-in is on the fifth wheel back here will be right where the box is. Introduce you guys to the swap box. Alright, YouTube, so I got 2 more loader bolts to put in. I went to the Coyote dealer and I got 6 new ones. I'm up here, I picked up some chicken strips on the way, a little vitamin water, keep me hydrated. So anyways, I went to the Coyote dealer this morning, got all 6 new bolts for my backhoe mount down here, and got them all on this side. Got to put them in the other side, and they didn't charge me for them. I talked to them. I was like, look, man, I just got this put on, like, I've only put like three hours on this backhoe, and all the bolts rattle out. That's pretty excessive. I wouldn't even think that I'd need to check them by, that soon or whatever. So they just went ahead and gave me some and replaced them. So that's cool. So now we're back up here, and gonna dig the trench for the electric up here. And just a little bit of information. I know this isn't gonna be real relevant to most people out there that watch these videos, but for my county, some of the rules or whatever was, from the green box you can go out 150 feet. They don't want it, they want it 2 feet deep, the trench 2 feet deep, and out to wherever you want it. I chose right over here because that's in between where I'm going to park my fifth wheel and where I'm going to eventually put my double wide up here. So we're going to go ahead and get that started today and get that ditch dug. And then some of the costs involved, it was like, I think it's going to come to, for the electrical company, for up to 150 feet of cable or whatever, I think it came to like $1,100, which really isn't bad to get that done. But then for the electrician, it's going to be like another $2,800 just to set up the post and the RV plug and the meter base and all that. And I'm not going to say that I'm incapable, but I get really frustrated with details, and especially with details involving the government and codes and permits and everything else. I was really struggling just to even get the permit filled out. They're really not helpful at the permit place, and I figured that it's easier just to go ahead and pay for it than to continue struggling and getting frustrated and whatnot, and it to continue getting put off. So I just went ahead and got an electrician that's putting in the permits and getting it all, gonna do it all legal and get all the inspections and all the stuff that we need. So anyways, I'm gonna get to digging a little bit and check in with you guys later. Until next time, believe in yourselves, keep building shit. Alright, YouTube, so I'm just walking the little gallon gas can back to the truck. I've got a bigger one, but it's just kind of, it doesn't got a cap on it and stuff, and so it's kind of harder to make sure that it's gonna stay up by myself in the truck, and I'm by myself today. So I didn't want to just use a bungee cord or something to wall the truck and end up dumping a 5-gallon thing of fuel in the back. But I do have a, here, I'm gonna switch the view. I like it this way better, and it fits the screen better for you guys when you're watching. But I have a little pump, and I've got a, there's animal tracks, deer tracks. So I've got the little pump, and I got a plastic 55-gallon drum, and so I'm going to be setting that up soon for the diesel to where I don't have to do the little cans over and over and over. So once I got the bolts put back in, which I will say, Cowles County Rigging, I was disappointed. One of the mechanics told me that they basically let this tractor get through there without setting it up. Like, basically it came off the truck that I came and bought it. Like, they never went through this tractor. They never tightened all the bolts. They never my hydraulic lines, if you guys remember when I first bought this, hung way down here, you know. And then once I went and got the backhoe put on, then they put them up here, and they're like, oh, you know, that's when they told me, well, we're kind of surprised it got through here like this, you know, it didn't get set up, your tractor didn't, blah 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 blah. So thanks a lot, guys. But I didn't figure that in 3 hours use I'd have to be checking these bolts. In 3 hours use, I pretty much lost every single one of them. They did give me a new set of 6. I've got a couple extras now, and but it's just, I don't know, how do you lose that many bolts out of the backhoe in just a couple hours of use? I dug up a sewer pipe for a friend, and I did a little bit of stuff here on the property with stumps and whatnot. But anyways, so back to this electrical. Here's the progress. I'm probably around 140 feet out right now from the box, 2 foot deep. I didn't get it perfectly straight, but good enough. It's actually a little bit tricky to kind of get it straight and keep the tractor lined up, and so you can dig, you know, straight and whatnot with it. But so I'm gonna keep on digging a little bit now that I got another gallon in there. I didn't want to run this thing completely out. I know that's horrible on a little diesel. So anyways, I'm gonna go just a few more feet here. I'm thinking probably to about here, somewhere in there. And I need to get it, I need to back up a little further and get it just a hair deeper along, just a little ways. So I'm gonna get to that. So once I got done digging that ditch, went ahead and checked the loader bolts and the backhoe mount bolts. The backhoe mounts were tight. The loader bolts were loose again. I've been really having trouble keeping them tight on this tractor. Well, I've seen other people that do too, and they just keep on tightening them, and then eventually, once it's kind of broken in more, then they stay tight, it seems. So hoping that happens with me too. But got the ditches dug over here. I was gonna kind of level this out a little better and stuff, but because, well, I was bringing a little bit of extra dirt to here to try to kind of fill in a little tiny low spot that collected water, but it's a little too wet. Tractor just keeps on sinking in, causing more issues than there was before. But I'll show you the trench. We're completely done with it now. way up to the box, 2 foot deep. So done with that.